Welcome to the Tampa metropolitan area, guys. Right now we're in Lakewood Ranch and we're going to be driving up towards Tampa today. On today's video, we're going to try to understand what's happening with the real estate market, growth, development, immigration, and all of the relevant issues that are taking place right now in the Tampa metropolitan area. Already a new business is setting up right here. They're not even done with the building. This is gonna be a Panera right here, so that's awesome. I'm gonna give you guys the real scope on the Tampa metro area. This shopping plaza is called The Landing, and they're also putting in an Aldi. And if you go on the back street, you can see that they are just getting started here. These are just recently laid down foundations. This is the Highway 64 exit here in Lakewood Ranch. Look at the size of this shopping plaza they're building right now. They just opened up a Miller's, a Longhorn, an Academy, and there's a new Target in the back. We got a Hobby Lobby. The problem we got here in Lakewood Ranch is that everything is chain restaurants. If somebody were to release out one of these little plazas and start a good Colombian or Cuban restaurant out here, something authentic, they'd make it. Look at all these new plazas going in. This is where it's at right now. Whoever told you guys that Lakewood Ranch is crashing is out of their minds. Yeah, they built too many new single-family homes, but when you got all these businesses coming in, but that slump is not for everybody and for everything. Brand new Target coming here to Lakewood Ranch. This has to be the nicest Target I have ever seen. It's beautiful. All right, guys, we're about to hop on Interstate 75 and head on down to Tampa. Let's do it, y'all. All my little homies building houses and new buildings. Shout out to everybody in Onico, everybody in Samoset, Bayshore Gardens. Shout out to everybody in Seffner. Yo, shout out to everybody watching from the Lee County Jail. Shout out to everybody watching from Alcatraz, everybody watching in Pelican Bay, everybody watching in Rikers Island, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in from Rikers Island. Like I said, I don't care what state penitentiary you in, man. If you watch my video today, I appreciate you. I know you can't show me love right now because the Fed's watching, but I appreciate you watching from whatever state penitentiary you in right now. Yo, but a special shout out to my homie Giovanni. He's watching from the Alligator Alcatraz. He says the mosquitoes are unbearable, but my videos help him get through the day. The temperature today in Tampa is at 102 degrees. Yesterday, Tampa hit its highest ever recorded temperature of 100 degrees. Officially, the highest temperature ever recorded in Tampa. Today, even though the truck is moving, it's reading 102 degrees. It just read 101. All right, guys, we just got off on Martin Luther King in Tampa, right off the interstate. This isn't a fancy area of town. It's actually a pretty high crime rate area. These new apartments, a one bedroom here is leasing for $1,900. A small one bedroom. On top of that, wait, there's more, right? That's before their community fee. So to live in a one bedroom apartment off MLK, on the intersection of MLK and Interstate 75, you're gonna need around $2,000 in the Tampa area. And look at these apartments. They don't look spectacular. This isn't fancy. This looks like one of those micro hotels on the side of the highway. It's not a fancy looking complex. Well, imagine that. You need $2,000 a month to live off of MLK and 75 in Tampa. That is the reality of living in Tampa right now. We're in the area of Seffner now, and there is still a lot of hurricane damage here from Hurricane Milton and Helene that we had a while back. And that's just the reality of living in Tampa. Not easy here in Tampa. The prices are ridiculous. It's so hot today that I'm actually going to have to be very careful while recording, because I can actually damage my recording equipment. Alright guys, so let's take a look at some of these residential neighborhoods off of MLK. This is the type of crap you see here in Tampa. Somebody literally just dumped a whole truckload of garbage here on the side of the road. Yo, you can get tacos 4 for $10 here. You'll see these things all over Florida in high crime rate neighborhoods. It's like the police will set up like a camera stand or something. Most logical conclusion, the reason that the cops have to put up those trailers with cameras is because it's a very high crime rate neighborhood. So that's why the police will set up all those cameras. But I want to show you guys something about this neighborhood. It isn't just for sale, for rent signs everywhere. People are selling cars like crazy. People trying to sell their vehicles. That's purely because people need money today. Vehicles, anything they can sell, really. People are really hurting for money right now. No crap. Some rough little parts of Tampa over here, y'all. It's a rough little section over here. This definitely ain't on the realtor's brochure out here. When they show you those YouTube videos about moving to Tampa, they don't show you this little corner over here. No, it'd be all right. Yeah, buddy. Now, don't get me wrong, they've built a lot of new houses in these neighborhoods in Tampa. Like, you're driving through here and you do see nice newer houses, but don't get it twisted. There's a few details about this neighborhood right off the bat to let you know this is a whole different story out here. This out here is definitely the side of Tampa that the realtors aren't going to show you. Look like a hurricane came to this neighborhood. Personally, I wouldn't paint my house black, but hey, you know, like, different people, different tastes, you know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of people just saw, oh, they're building new houses everywhere, right? But like, look at these right here. These are all boarded up. Look like they're brand new builds and they're already boarded up. Probably because of home invasions or probably because of shootings or whatever, but it's crazy to see a brand new house like that. gonna tell y'all. Oh crap! I forgot about this. Dang it! I tried to put my window open.
Now you're screaming in front of people.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It didn't break. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
See the thing now, mullet don't taste all that great, but smoked mullet really do taste great. I don't know if y'all have ever had smoked mullet, but you know, mullet in itself ain't all that great. Get it from the Haitians, sell it to the Caucasians, use the money to order Chinese food from the Asian. Check out this little corner of Tampa. For sale. For sale. And whatever the crap this is. For sale. Call this the corner of speculation. Now, I don't know why people are up in a rush to sell and get the crap up out of this neighborhood. But it doesn't seem like people want to stick around too long up in here. And I think I know why. Turn around real quick and show you guys what's on the other side of the road. So these apartments right here are for sale. Looks like maybe 8 units perhaps. I'm not sure how many apartments. Look like maybe 8 units at least. Yeah, so it's like 6 units right here, guys. But these apartments right here are for sale. If you're looking to own a little piece of real estate in the hood in Tampa, you can see they ain't cut the grass. You can smell the garbage overflowing out here. So if you're looking to own a little slice of the hood in Tampa, it don't get more hood than this. So if you're a hood investor, people here in the United States like to just quickly cook fish in 15 minutes. Mullet takes a lot of time in preparation. If you smoke the mullet for a long time, or you deep fry it to a deep yellow, once you cook the fiber, all that sticky stuff off the mullet, it's actually some of the best eating fish that exists. They got a Haitian place right there. It says right here, it's a shed with an air conditioner. They got somebody living up in that shed. Wanna be a landlord in East Tampa, 20-inch grass, and I'm calling the county. Slap your door with that eviction notice. Wanna be a landlord in East Tampa. Look, y'all, they still building new houses out here. This looks like maybe a duplex or something. The homies are still working out here trying to build new houses. So people are still building new houses in Tampa. And the building's for rent. We're off of 22nd. Is it me, or is this part of Tampa becoming more Spanish than it's ever been? This used to be a mostly black area, looking like a lot of Spanish people out here. If I'm not mistaken, this used to be a predominantly black area, and it's starting to look more and more Spanish every day. Look, y'all, we're on the corner of 15th and MLK, and there's a Latin food truck here. This used to be black.
In a quarter mile,
MLK,
turn right onto North Taliaferro Avenue.
And you got Latin food trucks. You see a lot of Latin people working. So it looks like this part of Tampa over the last few years has become Hispanic. And this has been happening in a lot of places in Florida. Now, a lot of people say that it's that Latinos have forced out black people. I don't think that's exactly the case. A lot of people say that black people haven't got opportunities, so they've had to leave Florida. I don't think that's the case. My opinion is that a lot of African Americans have actually improved their economy lately, with housing costs getting expensive evenly now. Does this guy think he's a car or something? And basically, in my opinion, because it's got so expensive to live in the city, it's caused a situation where the suburbs have become more affordable relatively to living in the city.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto US 92 West, East Hillsborough Avenue.
So now a lot of people that used to live purely in the inner city are starting to live kind of in the suburbs. So I think what's happened is kind of upwards mobility of the African American community into suburban areas. So I don't exactly agree with the narrative that a lot of YouTubers are pushing, that black people are leaving Florida because you don't see black people in the hoods anymore. I think they don't really understand what's actually happening in Florida. My personal opinion of what's happening with the African American communities is that because it's gotten so expensive to live in these inner city neighborhoods, a lot of people can actually move into the suburbs for roughly the same costs. And it's a good incentive for people that live in inner city neighborhoods, right? You can live in a bad inner city neighborhood and pay $1,500 for rent, or for a few $100s more, you can move into a nice suburb. For a lot of people in the inner city, being able to move into a suburban setting feels like upward mobility economically. It may or not actually be. It could just be the perception of upward mobility, but people like that notion. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I don't think the videos that people are making about what's happening with the African American communities in Florida is accurate. It's not so much that black people are leaving Florida or the black neighborhoods are disappearing, but that it doesn't make sense. Why would you stay in an inner city neighborhood when you can move into the suburbs for a few $100s more and have relatively better safety? It used to be that in Florida, the African American community was like the bottom of the barrel economically, and now a lot of the Central American communities are taking that place. So now Hondurans, Guatemalans, and Central Americans and undocumented people have kind of filled that void of where the African American communities were. When things started to get expensive, it kind of pushed the bottom up. And what happens when you push the bottom up is that it creates somewhat of an economic equality. So we're at the intersection of Armenia and Hillsborough, and we're about to go to one of my favorite Cuban sandwich spots in the Tampa area. But if you're in the Tampa area, this right here is the spot. Let's get up in there. So this is a real Cuban steak sandwich, and we're pairing it with a café con leche. Kate likes extra mayonnaise on hers, and I do too, but they forgot to put it on mine. No big deal. Café con leche and a real Cuban steak sandwich. This is what I love out, y'all. You got your steak, your lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, and then little potato chips. I love eating this stuff. This is the Cuban and Colombian neighborhood of Tampa. Let's explore this beautiful Latino neighborhood. This is West Tampa, the Cuban and Latino part of the city. For being an inner city area, it's actually pretty nice. Everything here is Latino. This is Armenia. Now this area here is not really going to be affected that much by immigration law because most people that live here are going to be U.S. citizens. A lot of the Colombians here are also an older community, so they're going to be citizens. There's a lot of home ownership in this area compared to other Latino neighborhoods, so this neighborhood's really not going to be affected too much by immigration law. Now there are some for rent signs and more for sale signs than you usually see, but it isn't as bad as you would expect. Notice on the left, that building has yellow, blue, and red. That's the colors of the Colombian flag. Apart from Cuban, there's a lot of Colombians here as well as Puerto Ricans.
La Pequeña Colombia, amazing restaurant.
La Pequeña Colombia.
La Pequeña.
Pequeña Colombia.
It's still good. You should go there.
I can't say it right, but it's good.
Yeah.
Now, if you finished the second grade, you would know that Puerto Ricans are U.S. born citizens. I know a lot of people today in the United States, education, a lot of people in the United States seem to have, first grade, kindergarten. Selective memory or kindergarten. But if you finished at least the second grade, you would know that Puerto Ricans are U.S.-born citizens. But overall, I mean, you can see it's a very colorful district. People paint their businesses real nice and lots of advertisement. There's just so much to soak in this neighborhood. Let's take a look at this shopping plaza right here. This truck is advertising that you can send stuff to Cuba for $3 a pound to any provenance. So this business right here ships stuff to Cuba. Mochi Donuts, La Jolla Barbershop. You got some jewelry stores here that are Cuban. Malusia Fashion, Paleta Gourmet. This looks like a Vietnamese place. And then a jewelry store. So like everything here would kind of denote, just about everything here is kind of ethnic businesses. Like this entire plaza is nothing but ethnic businesses. There's also a lot of Asian and Oriental stuff here, so it's a lot of ethnic businesses here. It really is a lot. So it doesn't take much to figure out that if international business were to struggle, that this neighborhood were going to struggle, because there's a lot of trade in this area. It's obvious just driving through here. There's a lot of commercial space available here in Tampa now. Now this is Waters. It runs east to west across Tampa. And here in West Tampa, Waters is another large Latino district. I mean, practically, there's nothing in Cuba. So if you want your family to have stuff, you practically got to send it from the United States. In front of us, La Casa Catracha. Now, Catracha is kind of a nickname for Hondurans, so there's a Honduran business here as well. Like those Cuban stores, they're specialty stores that send stuff just for Cuba. They're things that are needed in Cuba. Particular items that are difficult to buy over there, you can buy them here and then ship them to Cuba. So these are not products that people here in the United States would buy. They're products aimed at the market in Cuba. You're also starting to see a lot of Vietnamese businesses out here. These are everything for Cuba stores. Their price is $5 a pound, so it varies from the last place. This is a store that specializes in just stuff for Cuba, so everything here is particularly for Cuba. Now this truck right here has a fuel tank on the back. This is Lanier. He's a Cuban singer. Now we're on Waters. This is kind of like the north side of the city. The city of Tampa was practically founded by Cubans. Cubans have been in Tampa since like the 1800s. So of course today when people think about Cubans, they think about Miami. But Tampa historically has had a much greater importance. In fact, there's even a place in downtown Tampa that is owned by the country of Cuba. Cuba actually owns a piece of land in downtown Tampa, and it's just an interesting piece of land that was gifted to Cuba. So there's actually a parcel of land in Tampa that belongs to the Cuban government. Like the real Cuban government just owns a piece of Tampa, and it's a symbolic symbol of the friendship that has existed between the city of Tampa and Cuba, and that even the Cuban Revolution was founded here in Tampa and headquartered out of here. So there's definitely a lot to do with Cuba and Tampa. There's also a lot of Italians that helped in the early foundation of Tampa. And today, if you are from Tampa and you're an American, you most likely have a Spanish last name. A lot of people that are from Tampa are going to have Spanish last names because, after all, Tampa has historically been Hispanic. So there's just a lot of historic importance of Tampa. And thus, like I said, the Cuban influence in Tampa, for example, isn't just the new immigrants, the new arrivals. Yeah, there's There's plenty of new arrivals here in Tampa from Cuba, but you have to remember that for a very long time, we're talking back to like the 1800s, Cubans have already been here, to the point that even Americans that are from here in the Tampa area are going to have Spanish last names, even though they don't no longer speak Spanish because their families have been in the United States that long. Now, compared to Miami, Tampa has always been a far more affordable city, but recently it's got expensive. Now, this is North Nabrisky, dog, one of the realest streets in Tampa. Don't come out here playing games on the brisket, dog. Keeps it real, dog. Tampa is the 17th largest metropolitan area in the United States. Okay, number 2 is Los Angeles.
Number 3 is Chicago.
Chiracchio.
4 is Dallas.
Yeah, whoa, man.
5 is Houston.
H-Town with the H-Town, slow it down for the H-Town.
Number 6 is Miami.
I want the city! Okay, what else is smaller than Tampa?
St. Louis.
The Lou, baby.
San Antonio. Austin.
San Antonio, how big is San Antonio?
2,763,000.
Yo, I didn't know San Antonio was that big. We'd kill it in San Antonio. And San Antonio's more affordable, too.
Yeah.
Alright, guys, so it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and it's 5 o'clock in Tampa right now. This area is called North Tampa, and it's really a crap hole of crime and homelessness. It's a really rough area. Now, I've never seen this. They have a 911 sign on an empty lot for no trespassing. That's pretty annoying if somebody do that, bro. So I'm actually gonna keep I know you're gonna get a tent glare, but we got a car following us. You can see here there's just homeless camps everywhere. I stopped the vehicle for a minute and I got cars following me, but this is just a really rough neighborhood. You can see there's just homeless people everywhere. These are just kind of, that person was gonna stop right where we were. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay, but kind of a really, really rough looking neighborhood. North Tampa is really, really rough. The image is going to look a little bit darker here because I have my window up completely. I don't want people to see me recording in this neighborhood because it's very dangerous. So at least if I'm recording like this, there's a potential that the person outside the vehicle may not notice the camera, because recording here can actually be pretty problematic. So I know we're getting a little bit of glare, but like I said, this is a really dangerous neighborhood, so it doesn't really serve me much of a purpose to actually have the window rolled down with the camera where people can see it, because it's just that dangerous of a neighborhood. This is one of the most dangerous areas in Tampa right here. This area is very active with illegal activity. Why chickens always be hanging out in bad areas, though? So this is the area of North Tampa. Very active area for illegal activity. The roads here are in really bad shape as well. So as I'm driving through here, you can probably see my camera shaking everywhere. That's because the roads are just in decrepit condition out here. Guys, this is what these roads look like out here. It's just pathetic. It's crazy how the state of Florida brags about being the best state. Look at this, dude. This is some Alabama crap right here. It's unacceptable. I always love how when I make these videos in hoods in Florida, people always say stuff like, oh, you should see the hoods in California. Yo, what city in California has a higher homicide rate than the cities here in Florida? What are you going to say? Oakland, California? Do you think Oakland, California is more dangerous than Miami Gardens? You have no idea what we're talking about. It's always crazy how every single time that I do these videos, there's always somebody saying, oh, it's a lot worse in California. You have no idea what we're talking about. See, I've been to Oakland, I've been to Compton, I've been to all them places. It blows my mind how people are always saying stuff like, oh, you know, the hoods in California, or California this, or California that. Bro, we got crap going on in Florida. You can't compare what's going on in Florida, California. Look at the condition of these roads. This entire neighborhood, you can't even drive down the road steady. The whole neighborhood, these roads are just every last piece of road here. It's unreal how unkept these roads are. It really is. Just recently, one of those no factual information type websites published that California has the worst education. And as if it was magical work, within the first day of that article being published, I had something like 5 people right on my YouTube channel in the comment section. California has the worst blah blah in the country. People, please stop repeating everything you hear on Fox News. Who on earth could be stupid enough to believe that California has the worst school system in the country? And then, not only do they believe this garbage, but then they spread it. Okay? So some stupid no-name magazine publishes a story saying that California has the worst schools in the country. It doesn't. Montgomery, Alabama doesn't even have central air or heat for the schools. Now look, people, I live in Florida. I've been in Florida. I'm not moving to California. But please use your freaking brains. Is that it's actually the furthest thing from the truth. If it was a half lie or a believable lie, but it's a lie that is so far-fetched that it contradicts reality. A new house in Florida right now is going for $250,000 and they can't give them away. They have to do price reductions. What makes you think that a state like California, where houses cost $500,000 in the absolute worst areas, a normal house in California is worth $1 million, what type of salary do you think you need to pay a house like that? All right, guys, so this is the university area of Tampa, and you got for rent signs out here. All you got to do is just kind of look at the condition of these apartments, and it definitely doesn't seem appealing at all. But for a fact, you are starting to see so many rents available here in the Tampa area. Like, and it smells really bad. I mean, not to be rude or anything, but like the smell of like food and just garbage, it's definitely not like the type of spot you would want to be in. It's definitely like borderline unappealing, garbage everywhere, like what is it, like toilet paper on the ground and stuff. It's not exactly ideal. The shopping plaza over here always catches my attention. Just how colorful it is, all the businesses and stuff. The shopping plaza here always catches my attention. Hispanic cooked foods. Hey, look at this. It's like super hood looking plaza here. Every time I drive by this plaza, it always like amazes me. The aesthetics of this shopping plaza never ceases to amaze me. For example, maybe you can't afford to travel to California. It's halfway across the country. But grab some analytics. Look at overdose rates. Look at homicide rates. Do the claims that, look at this, just a random homeless camp right here behind these abandoned businesses. Crazy. Just because everybody repeats something or because everybody believes it doesn't mean it's real. Let's say you can't afford to go to California. Okay, look at states by income, by homicide rate, by overdose rates. And you'll say, okay, California has some of the best incomes. They have some of the highest real estate values. They have a pretty good homicide rate for a state that has a large population. The state of Florida has a higher homicide rate. So all these claims that California is completely crime-ridden. Okay, California is completely crime-ridden. You think Austin, Texas isn't completely crime-ridden? You think Tampa, Florida isn't completely crime-ridden? Well, California is full of illegals and sanctuary cities. Okay. There's actually analytical information about states by percentage of the Latino community that's undocumented. What do you come to? Florida and Alabama, for example, have a higher percentage of their Latino community that's undocumented. So what does that tell you? Oh, most Latinos in California are legal. So does that mean that California is this horrible crime-ridden place? No, those are the stories that the media chooses to portray. That doesn't mean that that's the reality of those communities or the general sentiment of those communities. All it means is that that's what's more prevalently portrayed by the media. Does that mean anything? No, it's the perception that the media wants to portray. But now you, at home, when you see a news story, why does Fox News want to portray this story? Or why does CNN want this story to be the headlines? What interest could CNN have in making this a headline but not that? Or vice versa? Use your brain. With as much misinformation as exists today, before you share something that you see on social media or before you believe a story, and if, let's say right now, a Spanish guy in California, I don't know, attacked an ICE officer. That's a news story today, right? You think it probably didn't happen in another state, but that's the one that they chose to make the news? Use your brain, people. Don't let the media clog your brain. You know, bro, I go on the phone and I see these stories. I'm like, you can find stories to match narratives. There's 50 states in this country. There's 300 million people. You can find a story for every narrative if you wanted to find it. Hey, if you want to be that puppet for that experiment or that guinea pig for that clown show, you can be that. I said that backwards for a reason. But if you want to be that guy, you can be that guy. You can be the person spreading whatever the crap the media wants you to spread. Or you can be the person that tries to use your brain and try to understand what's really going on out there. For example, the media is portraying that the state of Florida is doing more immigration arrests than anywhere else. Florida, the alligator Alcatraz. Bro, ain't nothing changing in these hoods. A little bit, not a whole lot. If there is something that you need to know about the state of Florida, is that this state is the master of deception. When the state of Florida says that they're doing something, it's the complete opposite. If you see that we build the alligator Alcatraz, we're gonna get rid of every undocumented person in Florida. Please believe that whatever narrative the state of Florida is telling you, the complete opposite is true. If the state of Florida is compelling you to believe that they're going to be the harshest on immigration, it's because they're the ones who are going to do the least. And I'm going to tell you right now, places like California, which on the surface appear like they're against immigration, are, after all this is said and done, going to have more illegals deported than the state of Florida. Who do you think deported more people? Trump or Obama? Do you know the real numbers on that? Obama got the Latino vote thinking that with the Dreamers and this and that they were going to help the Latino community. Do you know that Obama deported more people than Trump has? I bet you didn't know that. The truth versus the perception. Learn to think for yourself. Don't believe what they tell you in the media. It's absolutely factual that whatever the state of Florida tells you, the complete opposite is the truth. If the state of Florida tells you that we're law-abiding and we love our police officers, that's what they tell you. You know what the truth is? The state of Florida has the worst paid police officers out of all 50 states. It ain't in the bottom 20%. It ain't in the 50% at the bottom. It's the absolute worst. Yet what does the media make you think? Oh, look at Grady Judd, the Sheriff of America. Why don't they tell you that if you want to be a sheriff or a cop in Polk County, Florida, they start you off at $18 an hour? I bet they didn't tell you that part. Now they're telling you that California has the worst school systems in America. Okay, let's look at facts. What state has the worst paid teachers out of all 50? Not the bottom 5 states, not the bottom 20, not the bottom half.
Take the second exit and stay on North 40th Street.
Worst. Worse than Kentucky. Worse than Alabama. Worse than Mississippi. The state of Florida has the worst paid teachers out of all 50 states. Not the worst out of 10, not the worst out of 20. The worst out of 50. A police officer in Florida is making $2 an hour more than a McDonald's worker, and the McDonald's worker doesn't have to worry about getting shot at work. Now they're telling people that Florida has the best economy in the country. Guys, you've been watching my YouTube videos for a while. Things are bad in Florida right now. What is this person doing out here, bro? It's 102 degrees. Look at this. You think this person's sober right now? It's 102 degrees out here. We're in the middle of a heat wave. What is this person doing dancing on a sidewalk, bro? You think this is normal type of stuff out here that's happening? 102 degrees out here. This person, what the crap, bro? Look at where we at right now. What's he doing? Still dancing or something?
No.
Is that they know analytics before they come out, and they know where they're doing bad. So what they do is when they know like one particular analytic is doing bad, like let's say they know the economy's bad, so then they'll start bragging about how the economy is good, so that they start feeding people that false narrative, so that people don't realize what's really happening. Okay? And that's how they work. And it's always been like that here in Florida. And if you haven't realized this yet, if you haven't figured this out about Florida, bless your heart for, if you've been in Florida for 20 years and you didn't know this, bless your heart. This year, 2025, has been the worst year ever. Businesses are closing. People that work construction don't have jobs. People that Uber drive are making like half or less than half what they were last year at the same time. Let me show you, what's the temperature right now out here, look. It's 101 degrees. Let me just show you guys. Let me show you guys what this little part of Tampa looks like in 101 degree weather. But this is a heavy homeless area out here. Take a close look at how many people. Look underneath this tree right here. See how many people are out there. Count them, Cave. How many people do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 15 homeless people here. Look. Take a look, y'all. It's 15 homeless people right there. Look at how many homeless people are out here. Look at this gas station, y'all. It's just a plethora of people on the streets out here. Look at this corner right here. There's probably 30 or 40 homeless people at this one gas station. There's probably 30 or 40 homeless people out here. Bro, it's crazy what's happening out here, man. It's wild. The situation in Florida is just unreal. It's 102 degree weather, and then they got the nerve to try to convince you that things are doing good. Did you guys see how many homeless people are at that gas station right there? But then they got the nerve to say things are bad in California. And what the crap is going on here then? Well, it's California that's got a problem. I've had that growing over. They don't care if you move here and don't find a job and end up homeless. The only thing they care about is more people moving to Florida so they can keep bragging about what a good job they're doing. You really think that the state of Florida is going to say, okay, guys, the bubble bursted. We're failing here. This ain't working. We haven't created jobs. The people that moved here moved away. We're doing something wrong. Do you really think that those people are going to admit their failures publicly? Come on.
They want to tickle their own ears.
Facts, man. Like, use your brains. They don't care if you move here and lose your job. They don't care if you move here and your life goes to crap. So if you're one of those people that believes all those narratives about Florida and it's the greatest economy and all that crap, bro, them people don't care if you move here and your life goes to crap. They don't care if you move here and you fail. The only thing they care about is more people moving to Florida so they can keep bragging about how good of a job they're doing. They don't care about you. Alright guys, so to summarize today's video, for the people that live in the suburbs and have good jobs and got money, I've always said Florida's a great state to live if you got a lot of money. But if you're coming here thinking that there's opportunities, thinking that there's jobs waiting for you, you're in for a surprise. Today is Monday at 5:46. We're on the Selman. There ain't that much going on in Florida right now. The economy here is paralyzed at this point. There's police officers, teachers, realtors driving Uber and doing DoorDash right now in Florida. And even if you got money, they're not making it easy right now. Let's suppose you're in that percentage of the population that's doing good. Home insurance rates are through the roof. Some people are paying more for insurance in Florida than they're paying for mortgage.